Hello there, welcome back to my channel. It is of course Chelsea of She Designs Things, and in today's video I am going to be sharing with you a bundle that I created for the Lashey photographer site. Alright, so let's just go ahead and jump into the video. Alright, so this is the actual Lashey Google site. This is just a site that I created for photographers. So here's just a brief look at the Lashey site and kind of what goes into this design and this design aesthetic. It does include a link in bio, you have your regular about page, and just a general clean design. So the whole reason I decided to create more like a suite out of this, like a bundle suite that includes everything, was when I started my photography journey, there was so many different tools that you could use, but they all do the same thing. And I kind of got tired of having to log in and out of different programs and software and just all this, crazy log into this and log into that. I didn't want to do that. So I decided to create a whole bunch of Google Site templates specifically for this design, the Lashey, because it just makes sense. And even if people don't buy this design, it gives them an idea and an understanding of what actual web design is so that they can really stop paying for services that don't make any sense. So for example, this is the coming soon page inside of the Lashey template. You can see here I have an HTML coming soon like countdown clock that I have created. This is literal HTML, and I know there are a dozen plugins out there that will do the same thing. However, it is not complicated to change the date and time and to remove certain aspects of this. When someone purchases a limited release template from me, I give them detailed instructions on how to make these changes. The limited release shop actually has its own support page that is different from my regular support page. And that is for obviously this reason. I want to give my, clients more, I wouldn't say responsibility, but more customizability in their Google sites without feeling that I constantly have to direct them to, go purchase this service here or buy this service there. I find that to be absolutely ridiculous. And great, there's a whole business and market out there for it, like, elf sites. But I am just not a fan of subscriptions. I can't stand them. They get on my nerves. So I just prefer to be honest with people and say, hey, if you have a little bit of skill or a little bit of practice, here you go. If not, pay a professional just to do it. So this again is just a countdown clock that I have added using seriously just some HTML and a little bit of CSS and JavaScript. There's JavaScript in here. That's it. All right, so now for the Lashey bundle, there are things that are included in this bundle that I don't have for any other Google site. The first one is going to be my investment guide that I created. The reason I decided to make an investment guide was I noticed whenever I was trying to figure out like how to set up like a way to share my services and give more details and just create an actual like guideline that says, hey, this is what the process is and this is what my packages include. It almost didn't exist. And the things that I did find, I had to really try to manipulate it. And then let's say something changes. Okay, when something changes, then I have to go and update all the links or update all my pages for it. And that just got to be really tedious. And so Google Sites is really good at about sharing information. As a content management system, I find it's the best for showing people or sharing information versus receiving information. So it doesn't have a natural database built into it, but it's really good at getting information out there. So it just made sense to create an investment guide that was digital. This also gives a photographer the ability to change information instantly versus having to change it on a PDF document or change it on, I don't know, wherever they have to change it, various social media platforms. By creating just a single file and all you'll do is change like the information on that file, you should never have to change the link that you have connected across the internet. So it just made the most sense to me to create this first file here. Up next in the bundle is actually a client gallery. So I do offer a client gallery on my regular She Designs things, but that one is created specifically with the photographer in mind. And this one obviously is created for Lashey. So it has the same aesthetic, same colors, same everything. The only difference is whenever you have a client, you can now upload your images to a Google site like this one and share those images in various galleries. So what I decided to do was take my initial view of a gallery and just kind of check out what a gallery would look like in other products and other gallery service providers such as Pixieset or Pixba or some of the other ones out there. With the exception of it's Google, so it's free. So here we have the bride and groom page, and you can play with the layout and have the layout be whatever you want it to be. I just like to keep the layouts in my galleries quite simple, but there are various ways to create a gallery in your Google site. And then I added a button to download the bride and groom file. This, of course, can be a file that's located inside of your Google Drive that if someone does not have access to the file, it will not download. So what I do with my clients whenever I'm sharing a client gallery is I restrict access, and so that they will only have the access to download it. So I add their email when I provide them with the site. It just makes it really easy for me to keep track of things by having everything in one platform versus a billion other ones. And of course, because it's a Google site, I had to add some sort of video. So I found this video on YouTube and I thought it was really cute. So I have this video as our story. And then the third gallery is completely empty just to show you a variation in layout. And you can add whatever you want to it. And the same for the bottom part. I just wanted it to be different. So I tend to do this. I'll create 3 versions of a gallery and give you the option of changing what it's going to look like for you. So that's why you see it differently. The next inside of my Lashey bundle is actually going to be a separate coming soon page. This one is different from the one that's included with the regular Lashey site because it prioritizes those who want to have maybe like a program or offer a service. So this is the whole purpose of having this coming soon page. It's just, being able to sell something like you would like a digital product or maybe something else that you want to offer. In addition to this coming soon page, I actually have a webinar page that I have created as well. So this is a webinar page. You can upload your video here, or you can use a YouTube video or add a video from your Google Drive, which was my previous video. And then down here towards the bottom, I have the registration, sort of button. And then again, with the countdown to the live event, which is this clock right here. And some of the event information, and then about the speaker, which I tend to just keep the same image for the photographer as I would for like a speaker, because I want it to stick with this theme for Lashey. And finally, in this section, we have the sales funnel. This is a sales funnel page that I have put together for Lashey for those of you who are interested in trying to figure out oh, how do I create a sales funnel page that's responsive and that actually converts? Here you go. I do not have the time to create a full-length video on my creations. And I say this because it takes me hours to create a design. And so for me to just sit down, I'm not one of those people who can just sit down and just say, here's how you do it, because it doesn't actually work, and it won't work. It has to be well planned. So I will leave a link down below so that you are able to view everything that I'm showing, so that you can, get an example of what a sales funnel page will look like inside of your Google site. And just remember that in Google, you can use any sort of button that you would for checkout. I actually use Thrivecart Yep, Thrivecart on my regular She Designs Things site. All right, so second to last, we have my shop add-on for the Lashey. This one is really cool. I just wanted to keep it simple. You know, have a community. If you're gonna sell like a product or service or something to that effect, that was the whole purpose of having this, you know, created. So that people could get an idea of what, again, is possible inside of a Google site. Now, I do have a single product page here that you can absolutely take a look at. And remember, you can turn off these buttons, the little the dots across the bottom if you would like. I mean, it's totally your choice, but I just leave them on there. This is using the collapsible menu right here. And then again, I have, you know, the products you may like. Again, this isn't something that's going to show up and tie into another product like it would naturally with a content management system that's built with a database. So this is all manual, and that is the difference between like a Google site and say like a WordPress site or a different content management system. And then this of course is a course page. If you're going to be selling courses, maybe you would like to offer those courses and list them down below. And by the way, these assets are included when someone purchases this limited release bundle. Everything you see on the screen is included. All right, and then these are the instructions to connecting their checkout if somebody was wanting to connect a buy now or checkout button. So I just let them know you can do Shopify Lite, you can do Etsy, you can do a PayPal Smart button, regular PayPal button. You can do, I need to actually update this to add Thrivecart and all the others, because I feel like if I don't specify all the things you can add, people assume you can't do it, and that's just not true. It's like, if you can think about it, it can be done. That's just what it is. All right, so the final thing is the member portal that you have all seen by now. And I made a video, again, my previous video about adding in a video from your Google site that is responsive and does not open in a separate window, because if you've ever embedded a document or embedded something from your Google site, you know, if you click on it while you're on a mobile device, a tablet or a phone, it's actually going to open in a separate browser tab. And that is something that we don't want to have. So to eliminate that, I created this video here. It's very simple instructions. You literally just get the code from your embed code that you would for Google Drive for the actual video, and then just tie it to some HTML and paste it in here, and you're good to go. So this will allow you to create a member portal. And if you set your site to be restricted, this means that only people who have that you have invited via email can actually access the site. Now, someone's going to ask, and I'm going to tell you right now, I have no idea, no clue, not even an inkling of how to automate that process for you. When I find out, you will find out. But because I don't know, I can't give you information for something I don't have. So I am hopeful in trying to figure that out, automating the process of adding people to your Google site once they have made a purchase, you know, like a paywall, and then they get access to the Google site. That's something that I am hopeful to learn so that I'm able to share it with you all. But, you know, I am not a developer, I am a designer. So I'm limited. I'm limited in my resources here. All right, so we have on this dashboard, I scrolled through it so that you could get a feel for the home page. But in the dashboard, I have actually added in on the side, you see these lessons, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4. It's just as an example, they all actually link to the same lesson, but I am going to just kind of share with you what the lesson will look like. So if I click on the lesson, actually no, if you click on the module 1, your modules will have like a landing page of their own where you can go over the module and kind of talk about what's going to happen throughout this module. And then you'll actually have the lessons. So you can add images here. I just decided to keep it with the computer, but you can add images if you prefer, like of products or whatever it is you're going to be teaching. And then when the student or the member selects view lesson, it's going to open that lesson, and your lesson is going to have said video. And here's a look at the video that I have embedded from my Google Drive. This video I actually created inside of Canva. So quick pause on that. Yeah, just a video that I have uploaded to my Google Drive. And then scrolling down, again, I love to use Noto emojis. That's what I'm using here. So it can be tricky using Noto emojis in conjunction with a regular typeface font, like just a regular font. You will need to add the emoji and then add a space in order for it to, not try to link this and this, or else it comes out wonky. So again, I do take my time whenever I'm creating my designs, and I implore you all to do the same because you do ask me the same questions a lot. Just saying, I'm not gonna point no names. No, seriously, I'm not gonna put no names, but it's because you're not taking your time. All right, so again, Noto emojis is how I get the look that I have across here. And these are just linked to various files. These are all linked actually to the same file. I created a dummy file inside of my Google Drive that just says this, hello, I'm a document. But if you have, say, an audio file, you can link the audio file. If you run a podcast, yes, you can embed your podcast on your Google site. Again, anything you can think to do in any other website builder, you can do inside of your Google site. The caveat to this is that your embedded content is not crawlable, meaning anything that you have embedded inside of your Google site is not going to be read by the Google bots, and therefore it is going to harm your SEO. So keep that in mind. All right, last we have like an events calendar, and this again is just using the collapsible text groups. And then I do have a module directory, although you can just use this as directory, or because human beings, we're a little strange when it comes to finding information. It's best to have that information located in multiple spaces. So that's why I created this module directory page and not just leave it up here. Then of course we have our resource article, in case you need to provide a resource that is an article and not just a regular resource. And the resource center, obviously, if you have more resources you would like to provide, this is what a resource center would have inside of it. And then the support page, I just decided to use a regular Google Calendar for this. Nothing too special, but you can add whatever you would like. And a thanks page, thank you for joining once they make the purchase. And this is here more so for me as a placeholder once I figure out how to automate that process. And this page, by the way, would be external from the actual site. And again, that's because if you hide a page, it's not going to stop the site from being crawled. However, when you publish your site, just remember you have the option of asking of telling Google, do not crawl this site, do not index it. So when you say no index, you're basically telling it, when you say don't let the site be searchable, you're basically telling them do not index the site. And that's why your Google site will not show up on like a search engine or something like that. So just keep that in mind as well. I think that's the way for hidden pages too. I'm not even kidding. I'll have to do more research, but I feel as though that's an actual thing, and we don't want that to be a thing. All right, so I think that was the last thing I have in this shop. Let me double check. All right, so yeah, that was definitely the last thing I had in this bundle. There's a lot that goes into creating a bundle like this. It took me entirely too long, if I'm honest, but it has everything that a photographer would need, especially those, photographers, we often get ripped off. I'm not even kidding, because we have to pay for hosting, and then we have to pay for, there's just so much, and Adobe takes advantage of us. and we don't really have a choice in the matter, because it's our profession. So it is what it is. But I do hope that this bundle will help any of you starting photographers. Just remember, this is a limited release design. Therefore, everything in here is limited release, meaning if the bundle is sold 5 times, hey, that's it. There will be no more bundle. Same for the website. So if the website is sold 5 times, guess what gets removed from this bundle and the bundle goes away? Exactly. The whole bundle goes away and there will probably only be like 1 bundle left. So I highly implore you, if you are interested in this design, to definitely go to my limited shop. So that's the limited.shedesignsthings.com, and you'll see that this one is located inside of the browser right here, web design bundles. All right, again, thanks so much for watching, and of course, see ya.